Living here in California, people always ask me what my favorite concealed carry type gun is, and ended up bringing a few with me for this video, and I don't know, it's kind of a variety of different ones. First one, obvious, is a lot of people have a caliber choice, and to an extent I agree, and not necessarily that one is that much better than the other, but a lot of what we carry ends up being more or less a confidence factor. And if you feel confident in shooting any caliber, it's just the nature of the beast. Some people prefer 9s, some people prefer 40s, 45s, 10 millimeter. It all really varies. Personally, I'm a 40 person. I feel like I shoot it the best out of all of them. I don't know if the 9 is definitely easier. I don't know if it's, maybe I anticipate a recoil that's not there, but either or, the 40 is what I choose. So in any event, we'll get started. This right here is a video of a couple of firearms that I have. These are primarily for a concealed carry type purpose. You have the SIG P229 over here. You have the, don't laugh, but it's actually a fairly good gun, but the SD40VE. This is the PCR by CZ. This right here is the HK P2000. We have the kind of a redone 1911 I have here. It's actually a Rock Island that I've completely redone and put in Wilson Combat parts. Then we have right here, this is the Glock 29, which is a 10 millimeter. We have, or excuse me, that's not the Glock 29. This right here is an XDM 45 compact. No longer made, which is a real shame because that's an excellent firearm. This right here is the Glock 29 10 millimeter. And then we have the Glock 26, or I'm sorry, 27 40 caliber. First, what you're going to notice, I put them in kind of the height of the grip, starting over here. Again, the P229, the SD40, you have the CZ PCR, again the HK P2000, and so on. So, not too sure how many people really put that into emphasis as far as concealing. What I find to be excellent is a holster with a claw. What this claw does, when you put on your holster, you'll tighten your belt. The belt will tighten the claw inward, which in a sense takes the grip of the gun out of the picture regardless. Now taking a look at each of them as they're laid out here on the table. Now what would be my first choice? We'll get to that. We'll talk about some of the benefits here. P229 is great. The only problem I have with it is one of the thicker firearms out of the bunch. It really ranks up there with the Glock 29 over here. So one of the plus sides is if you live in a free state, or a better state, whichever way you want to put it, you can actually hold more than 10 rounds. And if that's the case, I'm not quite sure what I live here in California, so everything's 10, but just for sake, we have a normal, I believe they carry a 15 round magazine. Well, the benefit of a P229 is if you have an 18 round magazine for, say, a P226. Now what I did with this one is I just put a little lip down here at the bottom. Now let me show you what this can do. A lot of people question this, but it's 100% reliable. You can actually use these magazines. So let me set this down. Now you would have a P229 somewhat of a concealed carry piece, and with the extender right here, this is giving you an 18 round magazine. Moving down the line here, we have the SD40VE. Now, granted, I don't believe that this is a replica of a Glock. It's built in the same way, breakdown might be the same way. Trigger pull, not even close. So one of the benefits that I see in this, though, is not only will you be able to, I believe you can carry 14+1, is you look at the width of the firearm. Now, if we're going to compare it to, say, the SIG P229, not sure how well this is showing up in the picture, but the P229 is significantly thicker, especially in the grip area, which is more or less the concealed carry portion of concern. The SD40, it has a little bit thinner of a grip angle here, which definitely benefits. Next down the line, we have the CZ PCR. I believe that stands for Police Czech Republic. Great firearm. If you were to, gosh, mold a grip that was, you would almost feel like is built for your hand, the CZ would be the perfect replica. I mean, this thing sits right into your hand perfectly. Your point of aim, getting up onto the target, I mean, everything's really simple. The one knock I have on this is, of course, the front sight. Could be my age, but it's definitely not the easiest to spot out. But it is a great shooter, very soft. This one is a 9mm. Now moving on, we have this is the HK P2000. As you can see, I put the old man sight on there. Works out really well. Sight picture is great. Aim is really great. I mean, all of these firearms are going to fire better than any of us, but I feel really accurate with this one. One thing you'll notice with the magazine, I went ahead and did the flush fit magazines. I have fairly larger hands, and I'm able to get all three of my fingers on there. We have really good fit here. As far as the back strap that I used, you can change your back straps. You have small, medium, large, and extra large, and this current one is a large. My grips right here, they are new from Talon Grips. This is called the Pro line, which I really like. It's kind of a cross between the gritty sandpaper and the rubber, and great feel to them. This one right here is the XDM 45 Compact. Not much to say negative about it. This is an excellent firearm. It's great for concealed carry. Comparing this to another 45, if we were to take, which dimensionally they are the exact same, this is the Glock 29, but you could also argue it as the Glock 30. Everything dimensionally is the exact same. So if you set that side by side here, you do give up a little bit in grip height, not too much, but if you notice the slides, you get kind of a nice little curve in on the XDM compared to the Glock. And Glock almost feels like you're trying to conceal carry a stick of butter there. XDM, it just gives a little bit thinner of a profile there. Feels a little easier to conceal. Overall, both are great. It's definitely not a battle of Glock versus XD. There's plenty of videos that can try to present that argument. One of the rarities, I like them both. So this here, this is the, guess it was born as the Rock Island. What is it, the compact size model or officer model? I've done a few upgrades with it. All the parts in there are Wilson Combat. It was much easier to do that and spend $100 on parts to do what I wanted to do personally. I mean, Rock Island, it was actually pretty reliable as it was, but yeah, I just liked the style to it. Added a little bit more to the trigger pull, lightened that up a little bit, springs on the inside. Literally from the ground up, this is basically a Wilson Combat with a Rock Island slide-in frame. Now on to the Glock 27. Glock 27 is a great piece. This is really ideal, at least for me, for a concealed carry. And there's many things you can do to kind of fit your needs. And what I mean by that, if you look at these other firearms right here, there's not much you can do as far as changing the grip. Everything is pretty much as is. I have my preferences. I have some that are on my list as a concealed carry, but nonetheless, this one, the Glock 27, let me show you what makes it really nice. So you of course get the shortest profile as far as grip angle. A lot of people, they're not real fond on the 2-finger grip. Personally, I like it. I can get my pinky underneath and all is good. Now here's the benefit. This currently is a 9-round magazine, 9+1. If I take that out, Glock 27 also makes available a 10-round magazine, and you can fit it there. And you're still doing pretty well as far as concealability. Although it's a little higher in the front, the back of your grip is arguably the part that people concern themselves the most with. So you're still sitting pretty well in that aspect. Now, here's another benefit. So say you live in a free state and you want to carry a 13-round magazine for your Glock 27. Get a little X grip on there, and now you have a full 3-finger purchase. It's great for concealed carry. You still have, I wouldn't call it a bobtail, but it's definitely a thinner profile on the back here where it's kind of curving to where it's still a little easier to conceal than the standard Glock 23. Now before I forget, for those that thought I would forget about the benefits of XD, XD also offers something similar and does Glock 29, but I'll tell you why I left those out. The XD the grip is a little thinner, you can see there. Put them side by side. Just a tad thinner. Now, these two firearms, yes, you can add the extended grip. Let me do this real quick. So if I take let's just pretend it's a 13-round magazine, put it inside of my XDM, you have a full grip, able to control. You still have your 3.8-inch barrel, but that's going to be a little tough to conceal. Now if we put this up against these other firearms, there's a significant difference there. Now with the Glock, let's put that there. Where did I put it? Okay, so say, let me grab my X grip and put it on there. You still have the full purchase here. Again, a little rough to conceal. I'm going to put that up next to the XDM. Tad bit shorter. This, again, if you lived in a free state, you'd have a 15 round magazine. So, of course, if it was a Glock 30, it would be a 13 round magazine. This one's a Glock 29, so 15 rounds of 10 millimeter. I think that's more than enough. So now if we compare 13 rounds of the Glock 27, you're still getting by pretty well. If you compare that, say if you take these two big boys out of the picture, now let's stack the Glock 27 against the standard grip concealed carry type pistols. You're right in line with that, and that's with your 13 rounds of 40 caliber. One thing I did forget to mention here. Now with the XDM, I did show you that you could do the 13+1 magazine. Makes it a little bit of a monster. So your standard magazine is going to be a 9 round magazine. Now the XDM will also take the XD compact magazines. And what I did to compensate for this is I just took a little bit of Talon grips, cut them up, thickened them up a little bit, to where now I can flush fit a 10 round magazine from a XD compact 45 and put it into my XDM 45 compact. Now I have 10 rounds. My pinky just gets bound to the grip, so I have a full grip. Now if we compare that, you have 10 rounds. It's just in line with all the other concealed carry type pistols. Primarily these four right here. Right there. So what would I choose to become my concealed carry? First of all, to the people that might be confusing, because many people from many states can carry whatever they want. I live in a state that limits what you can carry. You have to qualify with what you carry, and in my particular county, you're allowed to put 3 on your permit. And basically, to sum it up, if you get caught carrying a firearm that's not approved on your permit, it's just like not carrying a permit at all. So you got to kind of carry what you're sticking with. And my particular county, you're only allowed to swap your firearms every renewal time, which in my state is every 2 years. And so at this moment, I have my 3 weapons that I decided to put on are my Dan Wesson Classic Commander Bobtail 45. I have my Glock 29 10 millimeter and my HK P2000 40 Smith & Wesson, which is displayed right there. Basically, that's the back of my permit there. And again, you don't want to carry something different than that. So those are my choices that I made. Not the happiest with them, not necessarily because of the differences, which I'll make another video on that. I'm not real keen on making sure you have the exact same type of firearm. I believe if you practice enough, it's no different than having 2 cars and one of them's a stick shift and one of them's an automatic. You're going to learn how to drive, you're going to learn how to be good behind the wheel, and you'll have no problem driving either one. So anyway, back to my topic here. If I were to be applying for my permit, say tomorrow, my first choice, I would definitely do the Glock 27. Again, I'm a fan of the 40, so those who like the 9, I would say go for the 26, but the versatility there, you have the different grip sizes you can go with if you're wearing something to where you had to be very, very careful at what you were concealing. You know, you have the extremely short grip, two finger type grip, but it's easily manageable. My other choice would be the XDM 45 compact, and the reason why I would pick that over the Glock 30 or the Glock 29 again would be the width of the slide. And although I'm not concerned about the concealability, it's just the comfort of wearing something so thick under your waist. And I'm a big guy as it is, so a stick of butter inside my belt doesn't feel too good. And then probably for my third choice, at least out of the firearms that I've presented in the video here, I'd honestly go with my 1911, the Rock Island that I've swapped all the parts. The only thing that would make me a little reluctant over that is if in the case there was any type of legal ramifications over it and somebody were to really want to go after me with all the parts that I replaced in it, that might be my only hesitation. Again, I'll be making a video on that. I'm kind of 50-50 on it. I have yet to see a case that somebody actually got put away because they put in better springs or different sights, or I didn't put on a hair trigger. I did put a trigger that you can adjust the trigger pull slightly. It's by no means a hair trigger. It's probably more or less on the lines of what my Dan Wesson Classic Commander bobtail type trigger pull is. Quality of firearm, not the same as the Dan Wesson, but the trigger pull, one could argue that it's not any better than that for sure. So in any event, that's the story I'm sticking with, and thanks for watching.